Yo, so there's been a Destiny 2 video making the rounds lately from Gernader Jake talking about both a particular pain point from Bungie and the future of D2, and I saw Aztecross had a video reacting to that video. And I just want to be in the know, you know? So let's give it a watch and weigh in. Here we go.
Guys, today we're going to be watching this video from Gernader Jake. You probably have all heard of him. Plays a ton of trials. And he has a video here, The Truth About Destiny 2 and Bungie. This is a very intriguing title. So let's watch this.
Gentlemen, I would like to just take some time today to maybe bring the community a little bit more together. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of opinions right now about Destiny, about Bungie, and I feel like this is maybe the least united I've ever felt the Destiny community be. I've been a part of the Destiny community since day one of Destiny launch, September 9th.
Holy shit. Look at baby Gernader Jake. Dude, he's so baby. Wow. Vintage footage right there.
The first thing I want to say is that Destiny is still, and actually is even more so.
Yeah, I would agree. Don't know where he's going with this yet, but yeah, at its core, we mean the community in the game. The game has issues that are still pretty bad, but overall, yeah, great game. I would agree.
For an artifact per
sponsored AF.
To have quite literally an
says anything good about the game.
Sponsored possibilities, and that's not even the best part about.
Okay, first up, he's not sponsored. All right, I need to make something clear about the whole sponsorship thing, because I get comments all the time, like my Helldivers review. Cross, how much they pay you? Are you sponsored? First up,
Cross, how much do they sponsor you for the Helldivers review? That is a comment saved for bad games. Helldivers 2 is great.
We actually have to put on there that it's sponsored. We have to say.
That is true, actually. YouTube info, behind the curtain info. We actually do have to disclose if anything content related, stream, YouTube is sponsored. Check my Suicide Squad guide. Yeah, sponsored content. You have to put it in the video description, the pinned comment, yada, yada, yada. You can't like make it, you can't like take money from a game. Hey, make a video telling people our game is good. Don't disclose it. No. You would get in a lot of trouble for that. Yeah, companies don't do that. We have to disclose.
Say this is sponsored. And on YouTube, there will be a little thing that pops up that says this video was sponsored.
Correct.
But third, that just seems sponsored for what? What would he be sponsored for saying that Destiny is
D2 is a good game? You know? Sponsored trash.
The best part about Destiny is the gunplay. I mean, go play other shooters
Hard
out there.
agree.
For whatever reason, Destiny has absolutely killed it, and Bungie's
really
always
good gunplay.
killed it with how gunplay feels in their games.
Completely agree.
People have the false narrative of saying that Destiny is a terrible game. It's not. It's fantastic. But for a second, let's talk about maybe why it feels terrible to so many people.
Feels terrible? I mean, it doesn't... I don't know what he's going to go into, but I feel like the whole thing about why people are calling D2, if people are calling D2 a, quote, terrible game right now, I feel like we're just kind of tired with the gameplay loop. The game has been out for a long time, and we haven't had major drastic changes in a while. I agree with him at the core. Great game. Good feel. But yeah, it's just I think we're just tired.
Bungie isn't doing anything wrong here. It's our expectations that are currently incorrect. Imagine you have a favorite food, a favorite restaurant even, and you go to that restaurant and order the same thing every single meal. Not even every day, just every meal. You love it at the beginning. You like it. By week 2, you're okay with it by week 3. By week 4, you probably can't stand this anymore. Now, you wouldn't go to the manager and get mad at them that meal you've ordered 30 times, 90 times, whatever by now, isn't appealing the way it used to be. It's the same kind of system here with Bungie. I genuinely believe that 9.5 years after the launch of Destiny 1, the majority of the frustration related to Destiny 2 just comes from overplaying it.
Or maybe not overplaying it. Maybe the fact that, again, we haven't had significant shakeups in the game for a long time. The core gameplay loop is kind of played out. Like, we got Guardian games coming up. Does anyone really give a shit? Like, we know what is coming down the pipe with Guardian games. We're going to look at the loot. If it's good, great, we'll play. If it's not, who cares?
I kind of understand his analogies, but in my opinion, as the game developers, as the game maker, you're supposed to mix the menu up. So I get where the analogy is coming from about, like, if you eat the same thing every damn day of every damn week, it's going to get stale. But to be a developer of a live service game, you got to shake the menu up. And
yeah, I would agree.
Shake it up big.
I would agree with that. Shake it up big.
Plan on that game going for as many years as this game is gone. And look, you know, we could look at other MMORPGs to draw these conclusions that do change that menu up, for better or for worse.
I do agree with what Jake is saying, that it would be a good idea to take breaks. Find side games that you can incorporate into your, gaming routine. Helldivers.
I also agree with him too that there are people that overplay, play literally this game all the time, every day, at every moment, and they just get burnt out. But I'm gonna say, from my perspective, at least for the past year, my perspective is I have played other games just as much as I have played Destiny 2, and I still come back and I still find flaws and I still find frustrations with the game, and I still question some of the decisions that Bungie makes, even when taking those breaks.
If you feel this way about Destiny, you feel tired of it, bored of it, frustrated by it, stop playing until final shape. Go play a different game, take a break from gaming, do something else.
Let me just say this, he is right. If you are burnt out on the game, go play something else until final shape. At the same time, as a developer of a live service game, if you're a developer of a live service game, or if you're Bungie, the last thing you want people to do is take a break. Because what happens in those breaks? Suddenly we get an idea. Let's go play Power World. Oh, I could just play Power World all the fucking time. Oh my God, my base. I can build these base. I can capture all these pals. Suddenly, I play Power World every day of my life. Now it's 4 or 5 years later. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying it again. If I was, not a developer, but if I was to develop something, I would want to make something so addicting, because you don't want the players to ever leave. Ever.
Yeah, I get what he's saying. I do think it is good for people to take this. Here's Jake smelling a fart. I do think it is good for players to take breaks, especially if you're just obsessing over a thing. But yeah, I also agree that it is in the game dev's best interest to make a really enjoyable game that people want to keep playing and people want to keep grinding. I do agree. Although I think it's healthy, even for really addicting games. I still think it's a good idea to take breaks and stuff like that. I think Bungie or any AAA game dev would be like, okay, yeah, play the shit out of our game for sure. Grind the hell out of it. But go touch grass, experience other games, but then come back.
There was a time that I took a break, and I know you're probably gonna be like, Cross, are you about to mention RuneScape? Yes. I took a break from RuneScape because they had a shit update. That being evolution of combat. And what happened? God. I left, and suddenly I found other things to do in life. Look, I bring up RuneScape a bunch, but I think RuneScape is like the blueprint for how a developer can shoot both feet at the same damn time, of which they did. RuneScape had me by the balls. I was going to play it for the rest of my life.
I will never play RuneScape based on what he is now saying. I've talked to so many people who have told me that RuneScape is the best game ever. RuneScape is addicting. That is a great picture of a cross. Love that. New Twitch emote right there. Yeah, I will never play RuneScape from how much people tell me that game is like heroin.
I remember there was one point in my life where I was playing RuneScape. I sat down, I was like, oh man, this is the life. Like, I got RuneScape. I got no plans for the evening. I can do this forever. If I was to die, it's probably the only time in my life I was like, if I would die right now, I would feel good. I will feel like I have lived a fulfilling life. And then about 3 months later, they had evolution of combat, and then everything went to shit. The point is, a developer really needs to keep you on that hamster wheel.
If we have a bunch of friends who are playing Destiny, it's going to be more enjoyable to be playing Destiny. When you've got a big group of people texting each other, Discord pinging each other about the raid, about weekly resets, about doing nightfalls, it's going to get you more excited too. This isn't even a Bungie fault. We're going to get to Bungie stuff soon. But again, this is just a natural 9.5 years after Destiny comes out, 6.5 years after Destiny 2 comes out, people are going to leave the game. People are going to lose excitement for the game. And in doing so, your friend group that plays, they're probably going to not play as much. And also the PvP community, what once was a pretty populated player base allowing for quick matchmaking, little lag, way less sweaty matches that probably bother you. There's going to be way more lag, way longer matchmaking, way more sweaty matches. So that's going to make the game feel worse too.
Yeah, that'll happen with a lot of games. You know, time goes on, population will go down. Even with mega hit games, Pal World, Helldivers 2, you know, the population will go down over time. That is definitely an extra factor in PvP because if people are leaving the PvP side a lot, population get really tiny, and then the meta kind of gets exacerbated and things get frustrating, longer queue times, bumping into the same people over and over. I get that.
And I think that they unfairly talk about how horrible Destiny is just because of the very natural pain point that is the decreasing player population. Now let's talk about Bungie real quick in a couple of ways that I think that they are sort of fueling all this and making things worse than they need to be. One of those ways is that they sort of prey on the nostalgia that we have for Destiny and the emotion that we have from all these, whether you've been playing for 3 years, 6 years, 9 years, whatever, our emotions from playing for so long and being a part of a community for so long. I don't know how many different times in trailers, in interviews or whatnot, you have people on the mic telling us who we are so excited and so thirsty for new content, telling us that the better days are ahead. The best Destiny is still to come. This feels a little bit predatory to me.
I don't know if I agree with his use of the word predatory. I feel like he's just describing basic marketing.
Also leads to some false hope. Destiny's never gonna be as fun for you as it used to be. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Maybe 1 out of 100 of you are gonna actually have the—
No! I can't accept that. I can't accept that. It can't be true, man. It can't be true. I buy into it every year. Every year I buy into it. Say it ain't true. Dude, this is starting to get into like game psychology. You know what I mean? At what point does the game peak for you? You know? Me. This is not the therapy session I wanted to have today. Let's just continue.
Does not be the case, and somehow, some way.
Oh man, I mean, it depends on when you get into Destiny, right? If you got into Destiny last week, I mean, sure, the best days are ahead of you. I don't know. Really hard to say without the ability to look into the future of what content is coming down the pipe.
The best Destiny days are behind us.
Mac makes a great point. Is he right? Probably. Will I believe it? Absolutely
Copium.
not. All the way to the end.
You and me both, buddy.
We look back to 9 years ago or whenever it was you started playing, and they feel like the good old days. All your friends were playing, your community was playing, the game was fresh. You'd never tried a shooter like this where you could get stuff from PvE or PvP and apply them to different builds and use them in different places and grind for specific roles and specific weapons you haven't gotten or perfect armor builds or whatever. It was exciting to you.
I get what he's saying, but at the same time, isn't this the thing with literally every game? It comes out, it's new. Oh my God, amazing. It's a new game. Let's all play together and yada, yada, yada. But then, you know, after time goes on, the population just kind of goes down. I feel like this happens with everything. It's happening with Helldivers, happening with a bunch of stuff.
And that excitement was part of what made Destiny so good. It's never going to feel that good again. You're never going to be able to recapture that excitement again.
The best times are behind you. It's time to be sad.
Trying to be realistic.
I love Jake for the record.
Well, I will say this, although I do agree with Jake. I am a romantic though, and I will continue getting my heart broken year after year. At the same time, that's why I think sequels are important. That's why I do think a Destiny 3 would be important. Because again, it's like it's Bungie's responsibility to come out here if they want to continue to keep us within this franchise to mix that menu up, to change things up. And if you brought in a D3 with, you know, destructible environments. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because Helldivers has really changed my perspective on live service games. Literally playing Helldivers right now. And last night or sometime yesterday, an invasion takes place. Like literally we unlocked it in the game, and the game masters within them, which is just the game developers, initiated an invasion from the robots. And now we're having to fight off this invasion, which is incredibly hard. Now, if we somehow magically fight off this invasion and keep those 3 planets secured, then great. They go back, we regain and keep those sectors. But if they end up overtaking those planets, they get closer and closer.
That's a really cool design, by the way, in Helldivers 2, that whole thing where you can like lose planets. I would love if they would add that to D2, the ability to potentially fail a community challenge, because like every D2 challenge eventually gets, you know, solved one way or another. Oh, everybody has to kill enemies with swords. Good job, you did it. Helldivers, you can fail community events. We lost a planet to the automatons in Helldivers 2. Really interesting stuff. Before Dado starts hearing people talking about D3, I do agree with Cross. Yeah, I'm on that hamster wheel, man. If they put out D3, I feel like a lot of people would have that, oh boy, it's fresh and new feeling again. We'd be back on the treadmill for sure. I know, in before all the arguments, D3 isn't coming. Cope. I got it. But yeah, I do agree. I don't know if that's happening. I would love if it did. Would we wind up in the same exact place? Sure. But would we also get that feeling of like, oh, everything's new and exciting, DMing each other on Discord, let's grind. Yeah, that would be back for sure.
And my issue with Destiny for years is everything has been on these rails. It's this on the rails storytelling, yet they sit behind, the wall here and say it's a live service game. I don't feel that it's a live game. I feel like everything is just scripted and projected. And we all just show up for week-to-week chapter of information and content and story.
I do feel like it is a live service game, but I don't feel like there are stakes, I think is what he's saying. Yeah, I would love the ability to fail community challenges and have maybe the outcome of a failed community challenge affect the forward path of the game or something like that. I think that would be interesting.
A game for everyone is a game for no one.
I do love that
quote.
I
feel like Bungie kept trying to make the game for everyone. So I think that's a great philosophy to have.
This problem that we sort of feel at the moment as a community of either being frustrated with the game or there's a lack of a player base or whatever it might be leading up to Final Shape, it's only going to be worse in a year. What I'm about to talk about is not factually sound, but as somebody who...
I don't know why that made me laugh so much. Did he just say what I'm going to talk about is not factually sound? Again, let the record show. I love Gernader Jake. He's a great guy. A good friend, good content creator. I'm picturing Charlie Kelly in court. Your Honor, what I'm about to say is not structurally sound.
I'm almost sure that we are about to get our last ever big DLC, our last ever big raid. And although they are kind of teasing about this idea of episodes kind of continuing forever and people just coming back every 4 months to check out the new stuff in Destiny, this feeling that we have leading up to the Final Shape of, oh my goodness, we need this so desperately as a community. I think this is the last time we ever get it.
Damn, I really hope not.
That big annual DLC is necessary for how many of us play and envision Destiny. Without subclasses coming out, without big new raids, without all this excitement, there's not gonna be many people returning for these episodes. Maybe episode 1, maybe episode 2, but realistically, by mid-2025, I can almost guarantee you that the Destiny player base is going to be a...
Man, I really hope he's wrong. I hope that Jake is wrong. I fear that he might not be wrong. I really wish Bungie would give us more information about what is coming after both the Final Shape and after the episodic content, the episode content. I want to know what is beyond that, because there's a couple different, roads that they could go down, right? They could either just be like episode content forever, which I don't think would be great. I feel like that would be a continued march into like, wow, the gameplay loop is so tired and played out, right? They could be like, hey, we're making another really big yearly expansion. We back. I'll be like, I do agree that the big yearly expansion does bring the hype, even with the tired gameplay cycle. They could just be like, well, we're done. I don't think they're going to do that because they don't have Marathon out yet, and they need to continually generate income. They're a company after all, right? Or they could do Destiny 3. Don't tell Dado I said that. But yeah, I do share his fear.
I do agree with Jake on this. I think that this year, Final Shape is probably going to be the last annual expansion that we have for a while. They may
sad if it is the last big expansion
after that, but I think it's going to happen after Marathon is out. Marathon
Maybe,
is
yeah.
a joke. Look, man, I got different information. I got information that
You got information?
the Marathon wasn't received that well, but I haven't
Really?
personally played Marathon. You know, I heard there was Tarkov streamers that got to play it. Who knows what the sentiment was?
I didn't hear
Am I
that
going to
at
give
all.
Marathon a fair shake? Sure. I'm going to try it out.
Me
I'm
too.
going to see how it plays out next year. Maybe Marathon's going to be the greatest game Bungie's ever made. It might. It might. I don't know. It might. It might be the greatest game ever made. I have to believe something, guys. I have to believe something. At the end of the day, you got some of your best creative leads working on Marathon. Surely not. It cannot be shit. It cannot be. But again,
Oh man, the cross copium. I wanna ride that train. I wanna ride it. I wanna huff that copium as hard as you, buddy boy. Yeah, I hope Marathon does well. I don't play Tarkov or anything like that, but I mean, I'll give it a fair shake. I hope it's good. I hope Destiny doesn't suffer for Marathon.
would it be better if Bungie came out and said, this is it? This is the last annual
Man,
expansion.
I don't know.
Or
Good question.
Minor shape launches, 6 months go by. We're waiting for the next annual expansion to be talked about, and then it just doesn't happen. Dude, that would be terrible. Everybody would be like, what the hell is going on over there? I want to see Cade again. It's funny
Hey,
that you mentioned
don't
that,
we
'cause
all?
Jake just said that Bungie plays on nostalgia. And funny enough, we're getting Cade again. You know what I mean? He's kind of got a point, right?
I genuinely wonder if Bungie writers were sitting around and they were like, we have to bring back something about D1 that people cared about. Bring back Cade.
I would love for all the OGs and all the people along the way who joined to come together one final time and celebrate the end of an incredible 10-year journey. Maybe one day in the future, Bungie will make
Sheesh.
a Destiny 3 or sell the rights to it for another company to make. They did something similar with Halo. Because this is a definite, wonderful community of people that at
Agree.
this point may be
Hard agree.
fragmented in all kinds of different places, but they have an opportunity to create a game years down the road that all of us will come back to. And I'm doing this all with no script, by the way, no preparation.
Well
I just
done,
took a
man.
shower
Well done.
and was thinking about I should record a video
I'd
talking
never do
about this
that.
stuff. This is all pretty
Dude,
much
the shower.
one take.
The
Anyway, to
shower brings
conclude
it out.
I think I've said everything I need to say.
It's true. Dude, I get so many YouTube brainstorm ideas in the shower. You have no idea. Oh my God. Should I tell people this? I'll tell people this. There's I have this fucking type of thing that I buy on Amazon. They're like sticky notes for the shower. Because I don't go into the shower expecting to have a brainstorm session. But sometimes you go in, you shower, and you just get lost and you think. And I don't want to have those thoughts get lost. So I write them down. I got to find out what that company is. But they're like sticky notes in the shower.
We'll move to the next segment about some issues I got with Bungie. All right, well, here's where things get a little personal and the whole story related to Bungie.
Wonder if he's going to talk about cheating in PvP. Love Jake. This is something he brings up a lot. And I definitely agree with him. Cheating in PvP is really annoying. It's just, it probably affects him far more than the average player.
My biggest personal issue with Bungie and where we are currently as a fragmented community is their inability to tackle the cheater and harassment problem in Destiny. And you
That
might
is
be
a
thinking,
very
oh my
annoying
God,
problem.
here he goes again. Or they have an anti-cheat. What's wrong with it? But
he
here's
does
the
talk
problem.
about this a lot.
The anti-cheat may catch a few people here and there, but
is
so many
very
people cheating,
frustrating.
whether that's hardcore aim hacking, wall hacking, whether that's Cronus's or Zims giving bonus aim assists and all kinds of crazy stuff they do that I don't even fully understand. People are getting through, and a lot of people are getting through. And the reason I'm so frustrated with Bungie here, I understand that many video games are dealing with cheaters and that it's not necessarily a Bungie problem. They have a lot of creators, I'm gonna raise my hand and say I'm one of them, who does everything they can to take down the names of people who are cheating, of people who are harassing, and provide as much evidence as possible as all of the terms of service that they are breaking, and then hand deliver them to people who specifically work at Bungie for these things. Yet, month after month after month, these same people who've been either terrorizing me or terrorizing the playlist or whatever, they're still playing.
That is really frustrating. I will hard agree with Jake on this pain point. I cannot believe, still to this day, how many cheaters there are in PvP. I don't play a ton of trials at the moment, but I do feel like when I do play, every weekend it's just like, where did you come from? And the guy has like a 100% KD or 100% accuracy rating with the Cloud Strike and like a 20 KD. It's like, come on, how is this guy not setting off alarm bells, right? It's very annoying. Don't get me started on the Zim stuff. I don't even know how we're going to even approach that. No idea.
I played Rumble last night, and yeah, every lobby had a cheater. It's gotten really bad, guys.
Really?
I don't know if the
Every
ratio
lobby?
was
Holy
before,
shit.
but I'm serious. Like every Rumble.
I haven't played Rumble in a while.
I could speculate all day long on why the cheaters haven't been dealt with. At the end of the day, they are still a number. Probably people that do buy the expansions, do play and pay for things in the game. Maybe Bungie's looking to capitalize on that, which is a terrible thing. It almost reminds me, and again, I'm going to mention RuneScape here as well. But Jagex had to make a decision a long time ago. Do we continue taking all this money from these bots? And there were just thousands of bots. So at some point, a developer has to make a decision. In order to save the organic player base they have, they got to deal with the cheaters, the botters, and everything else. And they ended up finally making that decision. Bungie's going to have to make that decision too. I personally think what they should do is they should go in there and they should give a select few player mod rights. Essentially, you make me a player mod. And that way, when that guy across from me dicks on me, I can just ban him.
No, what? Cross. Is he memeing? Is he fucking serious? Yeah, immediately in the chat, you would abuse it. Lol. Yeah, if he's being serious, that's a horrible idea. No, 1,000 times no to that. You can't put that power in the hands of... No. I get the frustration. Completely understand the frustration. There have been times when streamers, they've been certain that a certain individual was cheating. Turns out they're just really cracked. It absolutely happens. This is a crazy idea. Horrible. Love Cross. Horrible idea.
That would mitigate most cheaters. Now, will I hit some innocence in that? Probably, right? Occasionally, maybe 1 to 2, maybe 3. I may ban someone who is a legitimate good player. But think about all the cheaters I would...
Bro, no. God. Bungie just needs to... We are truly in a desperate situation if that is the recommended idea from Cross. Will I catch a couple of innocent players? Probably. No. Just get Bungie to do more on that front. Don't do this.
Would get in the process. I mean, when you think about it, right? Like, come on. It's a sacrifice that's worthy.
One of the biggest reasons that the Destiny community is as depleted as it is, especially in the PvP world, is because of Bungie's lack of ability to actually take action on these people that are so easy to discover. Not only are streamers hand feeding him to the people at Bungie who have requested them.
Didn't the security team get laid off though? Didn't
Oh shit, did they? God, I really hope not.
Like a number of the, it was like 50% of the security team got laid off.
50%? I really hope not.
Security team got fired. Dude, Bungie just went in there like when they were laying off. They were just
really
like,
hope
we gotta
that is
save
not
money.
the case.
Slash everything. Maybe they should hire someone.
One thing I never want to do, this is just best practices for me as like a content creator and a person. I'm not trying to shame the boys here because I really agree with them in the fact that I hope that Bungie does more to catch all the general tomfuckery going on in PvP. I never want to play the card of it would probably be so easy because I don't like when people say that in general. Like, I'm not a game dev. I've never been a game dev. I really don't know how easy it would or would not be. So I don't like saying that. But I 10,000% agree that they should be doing more. I don't care what it is, except for that idea that Aztecross had. Don't do that. Do other things to please help curb this situation because it's getting bad and it's really frustrating and it is hurting the game. They got to be able to do something. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to pretend like I know what the answer is. All I know is that there's a problem.
Bungie, I'm going to say this directly to anybody who's listening. I will pay for the salary of somebody to do the job I am describing right now.
Wow,
if you have no money, because that's been a thing we've heard from Bungie, is that they've got budget issues. They can't afford things. I will finance this. If you want to hire somebody to manually review Trials of Osiris and any PvP accounts that are flagged by a lot
Jake
of
is doing
people
well.
or who statistically are just wildly improved compared to anybody else, if you want to manually review that and hire someone to do it, I will pay for it. That's how serious I am about how easy this would be and how much it would help the dev.
What a terrible look, though, for a developer. Like, I am completely
That would be a
behind Jake
horrible
on this. I would love it if they would take this deal.
Man.
What a terrible look for a developer. Can you imagine
be
the
a bad
headlines?
look.
Streamer pays salary for person to actually implement anti-cheat, or for developer to actually
Sheesh.
implement anti-cheat. Yeah, I think everybody would run with that shit. Sony be picking up the phone calling Bungie being like, what the fuck is going on over there? No one should have to do that. If you beat me in a 1v1, you are 1000% cheating, because there's no other way, no feasible possible way. And I will report you. And I do this in Rumble games. I do this in
Fucking
Trials
true.
games, in comp games, all of them. And if you feel that I have falsely called you out, and if you even show definitive proof, good shit, did AI produce that shit for you? That's really nice, huh? How'd you shoot that footage? I don't believe you for a fucking second.
Point I want to make here is I'm not the one who I don't want to take responsibility for banning the cheaters. I don't want that job. But having some unbiased person review people.
When someone is able to elevate their KDs from season over season that substantially, there should be like alarm bells at Bungie that goes off. I mean, if you suddenly go from a 0.5 to a 3 or 4.0 KD, even if you went from a 0.5 to like a 2.0, you go from a 0.5 to a 2.0, I'm questioning things.
It's killing their PvP community. It's just absolutely infuriatingly in the face of all of us who've supported their game for so long. And it's the biggest problem I have with them. All of the devs who worked their ass off, DLC after DLC, update after update, I respect them so freaking much. Those devs work hard and they create an incredible game. I am a huge fan of the vast majority of Bungie, but whoever's in charge of security, I don't know who's in charge of it, but whoever is, I've got a problem with you. Whoever still works in the security team, I've got a problem with you. And realistically, whoever's at the top of Bungie managing all this, I have a problem with you. That's where my problem is. I can't believe nothing's being done, but tip of the cap to all the devs who worked their ass off. I don't want any disrespect towards you from me or any of my viewers.
I wish that more was being done on the PvP cheater front. Again, I'm not a dev. I don't know what the solution is. All I know is that there's clearly a problem, and it's very frustrating. And the community's getting hurt, and the game population's getting hurt. And yeah, but I think it would be a good idea. I wish they would look into it more. I really don't know. I'm very curious now as to how many people are left on the current security team after the layoff situation that happened not too long ago. Gonna be thinking about that for a while.
Honestly, that's it. Unscripted, ranting. I hope it made sense and was good to sort of take it all and bundle it real quick. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Great video,
I appreciate you making it all the way
Great
through
video.
the video. If
Great
you made
video,
it all
Cross.
the way through, not only thank you,
Great
but
video.
second of all, leave a comment.
I need to like this video, and I need to leave a comment. Cheaters suck ass. It's not a constructive comment, but I just think we should put that in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great.
Let's keep the tradition going here. Cheaters suck ass. Interesting vid from both Jake and Cross. I really hope that the situation, specifically with cheaters, gets better. I do agree. If you've taken a break, come back for the final shape. I hope it's everything we want it to be. I really hope there's more beyond the episode content. Who knows? God, I hope our best days are still ahead. Cope.